Thank you, Mr. Chairman. By virtue of my service on several other committees, I just want to share something that I think is a rising problem that I think could be very important, and that is cyber attacks through subs of major contractors. We're seeing that in the utility field. We're seeing it also in military, and I hope it's something you can really have some urgency on. You can have a 5-person engineering headhunting firm that gets into the system of their general contractor and thereby can steal intellectual property. And I think it's something we're now seeing more of. And I hope that you can, put the fear of God into some of these people and not just rely on the big guys having good security, but the subs that have access into their system. That's just a point I wanted to mention. I'm a little worried about the timing of the Columbia class. Tell me about how that's coming. I understand it's getting tighter. There have been some problems and the schedule's shrinking.
Yes, sir. So Columbia's schedule has not changed. As you know, we were fairly proactive in looking at critical technologies, demonstrating and prototyping those to the left of when we would traditionally do it in a program, learning some of the lessons of some of our other lead ships where we had technical challenges that drove delivery of that. The area that has probably gotten the most kind of visibility and has actually showed us we have work to do is on the missile tubes, large complex welds, finding the quality, understanding how we inspect those for quality. We had some of those issues pop up last year. That's eroded some of the margin, but has not impacted the schedule.
You're still within the
Yes, sir. We still have 11 months margin to the need date for those. So we're going to continue our prototyping activities to beat down any of the areas where we see risk in terms of construction. In terms of the program overall, they're close on their design curves and maturity. We are going to have a higher design drawing completion on that ship than any submarine we've ever produced before. So everything we're trying to do is to maintain margin, beat out the risk as early as we can, and then position that program for success. Because as you know, we do not have a lot of schedule margin on the back end of that program to get it into the STRATCOM fleet to continue that mission.
Because there's a potential gap on the other end with the retirement of the Ohios.
Yes, sir. We're tight. There's not a gap yet, but we don't have a lot of
Potential gap.
Yeah, yes, sir. We don't have a lot of margin on the back end. So Columbia is our #1 program. We are doing everything we know how to continue to drive risk out and deliver that on schedule.
Good, thank you. Admiral, how are we doing with the integration of the Flight 3 DDGs coming in? Is that going smoothly? Are we on schedule? Does it look like it's going to be a smooth transition?
Yes, sir. We're on schedule. The first one delivers in FY23. The last hurdle, really, for the phased integration of the capability we need was the final test of the radar, and that was just recently completed, and the radar did fine.
So that's ready.
Yes, sir.
Maintenance plan. You talked about maintenance, and I think I heard you say, at least implicitly, more aggressive work on maintenance. Better scheduling, shorter periods, because if we can do a better job on maintenance, we have more ships at sea. Give me a little more detail on what your plans are on maintenance.
Yes, sir. And I would say my largest focus area over the last 6 months has been on the maintenance side. We're doing, we have some issues in some of the new construction. We are not delivering yet to the degree I would want to the fleet and maintenance. My end goal is ships come in on time, ships go out on time.
Do you have data on seaworthiness or sea readiness per ship? It would be nice to know. Are they ready to be in sea? Are they at 82% or 62% or 90%?
Yes, sir. We can pull all that data for you.
For the record, I'd like to see that.
Yes, sir. Where I'm focused on, we've talked some on the public yard side of things. I'm also really focused on the private yard maintenance, where we do most of our non-nuclear, in fact, all of our non-nuclear surface maintenance, and doing a couple different things there. We are really taking a hard look, putting commercial best practices on inspections as the government does. We have reduced those on our latest availabilities by 30%. My target's 50%, so we can operate as efficiently as we can in the private yards.
Because that equals more ships.
Yes, sir. We got to get them out on time, because if we don't get them out on time, that just ripples all the way through the force. Second piece is relooking at our contract strategy. We tended to award ships one at a time with not a lot of planning window, which made it really tough on industry to operate efficiently. So right now, we're moving our award dates 90 days before the availability. My goal is to get those to 180 days. And then the third is reduce, we were doing a lot of higher headquarters contract changes versus allowing folks to fix things on the waterfront. We've already put those in so that changes under $25,000 negotiated on the spot. That's also driving a lot of efficiency.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.